kind of was going to just, because I wasn't sure how people would receive this, because it's a pretty big change.
Right.
And I mean, but then it just kind of, I felt like I needed to tell the story, I needed to record more songs to tell the story. So I just kind of I wrote maybe, 34 songs, I think, for this record.
Oh, wow.
Out of the 16 that actually made it. So there's like, you could have been a double album, but I just kind of felt, well, it's not the 90s anymore. So
yeah.
maybe I won't do that. But yeah, in terms of the arrangement, I mean, I wish I had a specific answer that said, well, I did X, Y, and Z, and it was very specific. But really, I always ask myself, what will serve the song? What will tell the story? And everything just kind of fell into place. I mean, the sequencing of the album was definitely, I kind of wanted to hone in on that idea of insanity, and so there are some kind of shifts. I mean, as you probably heard, and it kind of starts with American Psycho. That's the first track. I'm getting that away, which is kind of like an intro track, a blend, and sampled some of Trump's stuff, and just distorted and lowered the pitches just to make him sound more demonic, and so that leads into that. And then at the end, the last song, I actually have like samples of like this old 50s, I guess, government film called Duck and Cover, What to Do in an Atomic Bomb, and I sampled one of the early atomic bomb recordings that I took a couple different sources to piece it together. So it's kind of like it's part of it's a metaphor for a personal existential crisis, and then obviously the country seems to be, and the world seems to be going through its own existential crisis at this point.
Well, fair enough. But it's kind of funny that you mentioned that the Duck and Cover, because because like the reason why I'm mentioning this is because like it's one of my favorite cartoons in South Park, and in one of the first few seasons when they're talking about volcanoes, they use the duck and cover. So the volcano goes, quick, duck and cover, and of course it goes right over them and turns them to ash like right away. so just a little kind of funny sidetrack to the old 50s video, which is exactly what they were going for, right? But they obviously just a little twisted. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny you bring that up too, because a lot of people like think it's like, oh wow, you must be like a dark and depressing dude, and then they meet me and they're like, wow, you're not like depressing at all, and I'm like don't take myself too seriously. People on the last record hear the song Misery, and like part of it's like an emotional song, but part of it's like black humor. It like, me, I'm Misery. Like it's a joke, because like, I mean, my stuff is dark, so a lot of this stuff is also tongue in cheek. So
right.
I don't take myself too seriously. So that South Park thing is kind of funny and in line with what
It's quite often the case there. Like in a past life, I used to manage a comedian.
Yeah.
Shows and stuff, and it's funny, like the difference between comedians and musicians. I always thought was that comedians are these, really depressed, dark people in real life, and really funny people on stage, and musicians are literally the opposite. It's like, it's just one of those weird things. The darker and the more depressing the music, often the funnier the person is to talk. That plays it. It's just the way it goes.
Oh no, it's a good point though. And you know what? Just the fact that you mentioned that, Harry, is I heard this a while back, but it was an interview with Tom York from Radiohead, because obviously for some reason it always comes back to it's like 6 Streets of Separation to Radiohead, right? So it comes back to Radiohead, but there's an interview and they're talking to Tom York and they're talking about the music, right? And some it's so depressing. Like, are you depressed? He goes, I don't know why everybody always says that. He goes, yeah, it's kind of dark, it's kind of depressing, but he goes, no, I'm not depressed. Like I'm completely content. I'm a happy guy. Like really. Just because I look like I'm kind of down and out, I'm not. Like I'm completely cool, right? Like so, and that's not the first time I've heard it, because it's essentially judging a book by its cover, right? Because it sounds this way, they have to be this way. Not necessarily. I mean, it just like it's almost be like saying like with Primus. We'll give, for example, Primus. will say, a lot of songs they're funny, and even though we know Les Claypool isn't, you can say, oh, songs are all funny, he must be a happy guy, and we can turn around and go and find out that Les Claypool is like severely depressed and yada yada yada. Like he's not, so that is not a fact at all. That's just a hypothetical. So let's get that absolutely clear. Hypothetical, not true. Les Claypool's not depressed. Just a comparison. Let's just make sure people get that straight here.
Let's try and offend as few people.
Yeah. So that being said, we're gonna get to the first single off Masochist, and somewhat ironically, it's called "Pyre of Denial." Dig this, ill-advised. Right on.
Yeah,
We're back on air, Harry. Sorry to cut you off there, buddy. Oh, hello. So we're back on air. We just heard Pyro Denial, which is the first single off Masochist. And I really, really enjoyed this tune. In fact, we probably played this tune at least 5 or 6 times easily since it's been released. And it's such a great tune. And I love the vocals to it. I just love the flow of it. I just love kind of speed up and slow down on certain parts of it. I'm not sure how to quite to explain it, but it sounds awesome. Like, I really enjoy this one.
Oh, thank you, and thanks for supporting my music over the years. It's really meant a lot, and I really appreciate it.
Mike?
Well, yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about that tune? It's like you say, we've played it loads of times, and every time I hear something different from it. It's just one of those amazing songs that kind of really hits you. I was just saying offline, I really like the industrial kind of quality to it. So that's the kind of Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor stuff coming out, I think, in bits of that song, which is really cool. I'm also always really impressed by your voice as well. From someone who can't sing at all, it always amazes me because you do so many things with your voice as well. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, it's a great tune. So has that one been around for a while? You said you started recording this pretty much straight after the other one. So are they kind of in any sort of order? Like, have a lot of them been around for a while, or did you write so many that only the new ones made it on, or how did that work?
Yeah, no, Jack the Ripper and Pyre of Denial were one of the early ones that kind of set the tone. I mean, once I did Jack, I kind of felt, okay, I kind of know where this is heading. That was kind of an experiment that turned out really well. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man. I'm very excited for the album to come out, and I bet you're pretty excited too. And I'm very much looking forward to it because I can't wait for people to hear it, because it is, like I said, it sucks that Mike hasn't got a chance to hear it, but I've listened to it about 3 times through, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm very pumped for the release. So I'll tell you what, when it's officially released, we'll have you back on the show, and we'll talk again, because it should be a lot of fun. So it's the Saturday after it comes out.
That would be fantastic. I'd love that.
Right on. So, Harry, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Like, we had a blast. I know we did. Mike?
Mate, I absolutely love talking to you. I've been dying to talk to you for ages, so I was really glad when you on the show this week. It's just like, who is this guy and how does he do this? So, no, it's been a pleasure. We'll definitely have you back. I'd love to talk to you again, man. I hope the record goes well. The release and everything goes well, man. I'm sure you'll smash it. So, good stuff.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, Harry, man, we'll talk to you very, very soon. We'll keep in touch. And when that new album comes out, the Saturday following, we'll have you back in the show to talk about the album again. And, man, like I said, it's been so much fun. I've been looking forward to this for a while. So thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right, Harry, well, you have a fantastic night, man, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.
All right, you too, guys.
All right. Good night. Thanks a lot, Harry.
Bye. See you.
Bye. All right, that was Harry. He was ill-advised, and man, yeah, I hope I'll got a hint, Harry. You want to send Mike the SoundCloud links to the album, please, so we can listen to it.
Yes, please.
Harry is always a lot of fun, and that's the second time we've had the show, so we'll definitely have him on that following Saturday, because I can use my calendar right now and tell you exactly. Calendars, okay, no.